Take a look at our touristic segment, and as we said earlier, we're going to be talking about this very interesting place that we are airing from here today, and it is Virgin Mary Church. It's located in Maadi, and that is in the eastern Nile River side, and there's a lot of story behind this very special church, which is a dedication to Virgin Mary as she starts her journey off from this spot exactly to shed more light on this beautiful place and the importance of it in terms of religious and cultural as well here, and historical as well here in Egypt. We are very much delighted to have joining us here Mr. Amin Yusri is a tourist guide. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for joining us, and at the beginning I'd like to ask you about like I mentioned before we started this interview, you said it's a long story, so we want to know more about the reasons for building this church, the location, and the history of building this.
As a matter of fact, when we talk about the church, we have to go beyond 2000s. We have to talk about the times of the pharaonic times. We have to mention that the spot of the church, which once upon a time was considered part of outlying of the city, or the earliest known city of Memphis, the first and the first known capital of Egypt. So Memphis wasn't established on that side of the river. Memphis was actually established on the other side of the river, to the western side of the rivers. But since the spot where we are talking about here, or about the Virgin Mary Church, it's like the outlying or the backgrounds of the city of Memphis. So it says that a lot of monuments once opened the times, and probably palaces or probably temples were stretching or established on that site. But unfortunately, by the times, we haven't found or haven't got anything to talk about or to see, except a few ruins spread all around the area.
Yes.
But maybe we can just talk about the interesting things about the church, which is like the locations, which is about 7 kilometers to the south of Old Cairo, the Babylonian capitals, or the Fustat capital, the earliest Islamic capital of Egypt, which is also compound beside the mosques, beside the churches, besides the synagogue Ben Ezra. That they are actually related to the spot here, since the Holy Family, after they journeyed all the way Cairo, and after they reached to Maadi, according to the historians, the Arabs, some of the Christians, some of the Orientalists who visited the area along the history, were mentioned that the Holy Family had visited this place, and he has settled down here for quite short times. And from here, they launched their trip, or they carry on their trips on the other side of the river until they reach Akhmim and the Muharrak and the other monasteries, which the whole journey, which is last, according to the Coptic history, it lasts for 3 years, 11 months. And this is as a part of the trip. The location, when we talk about the location here, the earliest known manuscripts talks about this place is dated back to the 10th century AD. That doesn't mean this place wasn't exist before, but this is the earliest known manuscripts we ever found talks about this area.
Yes.
And it's been written by Abu al-Makarim Sa'adallah, one of the Christian historians, who wrote a lot about the Coptic and their popes and their history, and they were mentioned a lot of that. Also, we found a lot of documents or manuscripts and writings talks about the church during the Ayyubians times, the Mamluks time, and the Ottomans time. Also, one of the most impressive things might take you to is there's some Jewish, as a matter of fact, before 2000s, might have lived here, and the place of the church, or the spot of the church, might be synagogue, consecrated to the Jewish or to the Jewish traditions. But by the time the Jewish had actually deported the area, and the place becomes, like as is known today as a church, some historians believe that Queen Helena, the mother of Constantine's, she's the one she built, or she put the foundation or rebuilt the temple or reconstructed the place as a church as it is known today. Some other historians believe that the place had been before dedicated to another Egyptian goddess, and later on, by the Christian era or by the coming of the Christianity to Egypt, this place has been converted or reconstructed as a church as we've seen today. Some of the writings talks about the place, mention it as a monastery or a monastery, but as a matter of fact, it's never been worked at a monastery or functioned as a monastery before. The reason the people call it monastery is because of the tradition or because of the constructions, because of the thickness of its walls, and because of the style of its wall. And because, of course, the people at the times couldn't define between the monasteries and between a church, and it's such
the difference is in architecture, the way it looks, the way it's built.
Yes.
And how long have been this building existed?
It's existed since I think since the 3rd century AD. That's according to some manuscripts. The place had been built as I said, reconstructed as a church, because earlier it was known as a synagogue, and maybe later it has been reconstructed by the coming of the Christianity to what is known today, Virgin Mary Church. Actually, the names also change from time to time. So we have the earliest known name for the church is Taklibi, or T Theotokos Taklibi, which means the mother of God's word. The mother of refers to Virgin Mary.
Yes.
And then again, the name has changed to what is known today, Mariumati or Marmoti, which is also, it's driven from another Latin word.
From a touristic perspective, as a tour guide, this is one of the spots where the tourists come to visit.
Yes, a lot of tourists, when they read and when they knows about the existence of such a place like this, as you can see, such a magnificent spot on the Nile, and such a holy place where the Virgin Mary and Joseph and Jesus Christ once upon a time visited. So the soon the people knows that this place will exist, the soon they come, the soon they visit, the soon they are actually attracted to.
Also the beautiful spot, being on the Nile, this location, I think we're in the middle of the Nile.
You are just in the middle of the Nile, you're right.
That's very clear.
Very well. Mr. Amin Yusri, tourist guide, thank you very much for joining us here on Nile Cruise. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And we're going to be going out with a short break, and we'll be back to resume with our third segment. Stay tuned.
كل سنة وانتم طيبين، وربنا يمسح من قلبكم كل الحزن اللي شفتوه طوال السنين اللي فاتت. يا رب 2014 تبقى سنة سلام، وتبقى سنة حب، وسنة ما نشوفش منها ولا نقطة دم لأي مصري على الأرض، ونرجع زي ما كنا شعب سلام، مش شعب أخبار الدم والقتل دي عنده أخبار عادية في يوميات. كل سنة وانتم طيبين، وكل سنة وانتم مصريين، وكل سنة وانتم بتحبوا مصر.
I wish we get over all this terror and terrorism and also the counter-terrorism from the governments and the laws controlling this, and really go to the future and really think of Egypt and Cairo. Think about Cairo to become again one of the most beautiful capitals of the world like it used to be.
أتمنى السلام والأمان لبلدي وللأمة العربية. أتمنى إن نشوف مصر يعني إيه وشعبها في سعادة وصحة وأمان لكل مواطن مصري بسيط، إن يلاقي الحد الأدنى من الحياة الكريمة، إن ترجع السينما والتلفزيون والدراما ويرجع البرامج على مستوى في حب مصر.
تتقدم خطوات لقدام كتير، وانا الحقيقه متفائل جدا ان شاء الله ب 2014.
I wish that everybody will forget about the last couple of years and they start working and producing for their own country.
أتمنى على الأقل الناس تحس بأمان، الأوضاع تتحسن سواء في مصر في تونس في كل البلاد العربية يا رب، ويعني ونتطور شوية ويرجع لنا الأمل في بكرة أكتر.
Well, I hope for all those who are watching us now a happy new year and a better and happier and fruitful and successful year.
2013 passed, and it was a great year, actually. And I wish that 2014 would be greater and greater. We should start working, we should start doing our best, working hard to take this country further steps, a lot of steps ahead. And I wish everybody a pleasant year, a good year, full of happiness and a lot of good things.
مصر اللي بحبها بتمنى لها الخير وتفضل الوشوش المصرية هي الوشوش المصرية اللي محفورة في ذاكرتنا احنا كعرب، عارفينها بابتسامتها ببشاشتها. اشقندها.